Danger Dolan. M asks, how do you feel about boss enrage mechanics? Do tight enrages add anything to boss fights, or are they just there as band-aids to cover exploitable boss mechanics? He has written quite a bit, but the gist of it is, most boss fights get exciting when mana runs out, people start dropping, and that hard enrages are just a way to replicate this tension through artificial means. So here's a quick definition of what enrages are. You got a hard enrage, which is an instant wipe. Got a soft enrage, which means like a difficulty spike to the point of impossibility. So after a certain amount of time, the boss just gets damage increase, like Gruul from Gruul's Lair. Then you've also got a hard frenzy, which means a boss is on low health and they get a huge damage increase, like Patchwork. And lastly, you have a soft frenzy, which can be dispelled, like Gluth, the dog from Naxxramas. So hard enrages are on most bosses these days, and it started showing up in Burning Crusade, and they're just everywhere now. Every single boss you do, hard enrage. After 10 minutes, bam, everyone's dead instantly. You've also got it in the Brawlers Guild. Enrage is so harsh and time dependent that you just can't be a tank or a healer when you do it. You have to be a DPS. They did that because of the way it's set up. If you're waiting for another player to kill a boss, then enrages make sure that they're actually doing it in a timely fashion. And hard enrages are in boss fights because otherwise people would stack up healers, or they'll just get a lot of bad DPS and just coast through dungeons and raids. But now it means you have to be very precise with your strat and who you pick as your raid members. So here's my take on it. The implementation of hard enrages, it comes down to this. It's lazy design. Well, not really lazy, but it's formulaic and it's safe. When you're building an entire raid tier, all of your focus is on making the mechanics as interesting as possible, on the aesthetic design, the balance. There are so many things to take into account. And the thing is, I can understand why they do it. It saves time so they can work on the things that actually matter. If they design every single boss to be quirky and that after a certain amount of time they spawn more adds or they get a bonus damage increase, it's unnecessary dev time. Now make no mistake, it's not fun dying just randomly after 10 minutes. Like, if you weren't watching the enrage timer, to be doing really well on a boss only for everyone to just explode and die, that's never cool. What I would rather see is more soft enrages. You know, the more adds, the more boss damage, maybe a mana burn for the healers, tank armor reduction, something like that. And if you must have hard enrages, there needs to be more of a visual element. Like, you shouldn't have to require DBM to know if you're about to lose on the boss. If the boss got like bigger, like Lady Varsh does if she absorbs too many of those water elementals, or the boss just emotes, "You're running out of time, you guys suck, your DPS is shit." Yeah, apparently the boss is Australian. So that wouldn't be so bad, it wouldn't really solve the problem, it would just sugarcoat it. And while I can understand why they make hard enrages because it saves time, it's easier to balance, seeing the boss turn big and red and then kill you instantly, that's kind of unacceptable, and I don't like that it's still here after all these years. That's it for this chat box. If you'd like to see me cover a topic very quick, leave a comment below. That's it. Have a good one.